Your makeup's smearing a little bit.
It is. You guys know I tear up when I laugh. I mean, like,
you know how I do.
Guy. Yeah, I'm just an emotional guy, and I like to cry a little bit. We're back, List Night Podcast. This week, we're going to be doing underrated pleasures. There's a lot of potential for this one to get a little weird. There's also a lot of potential for this to just end up being simple pleasures that everyone likes. So we'll kind of see how it goes. If you're watching us on YouTube, I want to say this before we get going. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not currently subscribed to us, hit the subscribe button. And if you have anything that you would like to put down as an underrated pleasure, or if you think our lists suck or are amazing, feel free to comment below. Comments, likes, subscriptions, all that stuff makes it a little bit easier for other people to see the pod. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, make sure you hit the follow button. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, you can rate and review, preferably 5 stars, but we'll take 4 stars. We won't take anything below that. So if you do want to review below that, probably just better not to. Yeah, the order this week, Thomas, me, and then Andrew. I think we could just kind of get into it this week. You know, we're coming off a heavy drinking weekend, I think a lot of us, so the energy might not be there the way it normally is, but I don't know. Pretty fired up before the pod. Having some good laughs. Yeah.
You're so cool.
I'm not cool. You were the one telling me
so cool you drink.
Okay.
I feel great. I feel hydrated. I feel rested. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I had a tough day yesterday. I had a rough one.
This isn't your therapy session. We don't care.
Yeah, I would say that in lieu of an actual therapist, which I should go to, this is the closest thing I have to a therapy session.
That is really dangerous for your mental health.
Oh, it's so bad for me. It's so bad. If I hadn't, like, let's not get too deep into it, but it's a really good thing that I've won the majority of weeks, or else this might be a 2-man pod. I mean, I just got to put it out there. Again, not getting too deep into it. It's because I'd be busy.
Stop trying to get pity votes for the week.
It's because I'd be busy with other hobbies.
It's going to be so weird when Andrew and I, give up the charade, the long con, where this is really just an intervention for you. We've just been plotting. I hate you so much. The rage I feel for you.
Actually, as of the time of this recording, Monday night, the week after our Olympic episode, I think I'm actually in last place for that current voting. So we still have a day or so of voting for that one, but I don't think I gave the best account of myself this past week. I think Thomas is going to take this one. I think he's going to double his number of wins.
Big two.
Had to get there eventually. Statistically, it'd be improbable not to.
I think we do this week a little differently. I think I'll give my list, and then we'll just end it there. I think that's enough, really.
Okay.
We could just have 3 weeks of content, which would save us a lot of time and effort just by posting each of our lists as 3 separate podcasts.
Would that save us time and effort? I feel like that's like significant. It may save us time. I don't think that's going to save us any effort. It's still the same amount of effort.
Yeah, if not more.
If not.
Well, let's find out. Only one way to figure it out.
All right, Tommy, the floor is yours.
Underrated pleasures. Number 5. This one goes out to pretty much everyone but Griffin because he does not know it.
This is okay. Targeting.
When you are pumping gas and you stop it at the perfect number, and it's $20 flat, or it's like 19 gallons flat, and it's just so beautiful and so lovely and so pleasurable. Andrew, anything to say?
Okay.
What I'll say is that I didn't know where you were going to go with this, where you said it's for everyone but Griffin. I thought you were going to say maybe like looking at a rainbow or looking at any color.
Driving a vehicle,
right.
Being loved by, family and friends.
And no, I appreciate that you came to me for feedback first, but I feel like you're not going to like my feedback that much. I know that people love this. I've never really cared about it that much. I always fill my tank just till it's full. So I've never been a person to try to stop it on any specific dollar amount. I get it. It's like, if it has happened to me a couple of times where I just fill it and it just happens to land on an even number, and I'm like, that's cool, but that's kind of the extent to which I'm happy about it. So
Okay, so you just proved my point that it is underrated. Also,
I would say for
what's
Andrew,
it like to have
appropriately
what's it like to have an icebox where your heart used to be?
it's
Why do you hate
better.
joy?
Can I go now? Where we at?
What?
Yeah, he
Story
hasn't talked
man,
for
he's
like
like,
he hasn't
literally
talked for like
raised my
10. Griffin hasn't talked for 10 seconds. He's like doesn't know what to do with himself.
I'm over here actively sweating because I don't know what to do when I'm not allowed to talk. Where's the idea that I've never pumped gas before coming from? I've
Okay,
never
hold up.
driven a car, but I've pumped a lot of gas in my day.
Yeah, okay, but I'm sorry. The assumption could easily be made that you haven't.
Okay, well, that is I mean, if you had said like Griffin, I don't think you can count. So that's the part that like you wouldn't know how to do. That I would get. I've pumped a lot of gas. I've even paid for a lot of gas. I think
Griffin,
it's a bad number 5. But I don't think it's a bad number 5 because you bullied me with it. I just put it on the auto thing and just let it go. And whatever number it lands on is the number it lands on, and then you walk away from the pump. Who gives a shit how much it costs?
The auto thing. This guy.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
I pumped a lot of gas. The auto thing.
Yeah, you put it in, you pull the trigger, and you let it go.
But hey, like Andrew said,
You
sometimes
know what it is. It's
You,
like
you leave it,
trigger.
you fill up the whole tank, and it still stops on the perfect zero. That's an underrated pleasure. I'm getting in my car with a smile on my face.
Okay. All right. So if it stopped, like even if you didn't manually stop it, so you just have a little spark of joy in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fine feeling. I feel better when I find like cheaper gas than I thought I was gonna find. You know, if it's like, you know, the cheapest gas station in a certain area, that to me is better than
all you care about is money, and what I care about is the simple underrated pleasures and the joy of life. I find the joy in the little things.
I feel good when people think, "Oh, Griffin doesn't have a driver's license. That means he can't pump my gas," and then they pump it God themselves. Like that's my joy. But apparently, that's something Thomas thinks is
you've never pumped gas for me, so
yeah, that's probably true. That's got to be true. Yeah. I feel like there would be some weird, like, emasculating aspect to that if I were to do that, and I'd rather avoid it.
I want to get an electric car within the next decade, so I will try to appreciate this for the few more times that it happens to me in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Moneybags.
Yeah, clock's ticking, man. You gotta start appreciating it.
So number 4. This is the one I came up with 2 minutes ago, but I stand by it. No, okay. Actually, this is a good one.
You seem really passionate about it.
It's a good one.
You came up with it 2 minutes ago, and it wasn't even your number 5. It was your number 4.
This is a top 5 pick of underrated pleasures.
That makes sense.
I would hope so.
You have a sandwich. You have a burger. You have a chicken sandwich. Something with 2 pieces of bread. Could be a hot dog, but we're not talking hot dogs. We'll go burger. Just say burger. You got toppings on there. Everything you want on there. You like bacon. You like pickles. You like tomatoes. I don't care. It's yours. You bite into it. Nothing falls out the back. Nothing falls out the side. Everything's in your mouth or in your hands. It's perfect. The ratio of meat to toppings to bun is just wonderful. It's delicious. Nothing's falling out. You don't miss anything. The perfect ratio is an underrated pleasure.
Gotcha. So like a structurally sound sandwich / burger that has a perfect ratio of ingredients. Okay.
I want to change my wordings to the ones you just used.
Gotcha.
He's got great words. There's so many great words in his mouth.
Yeah, this pick is good. But what really scares me about this pick is that Thomas just like told one of his anecdote stories, which he usually does a lot better when he tells them. So I'm kind of nervous now.
He does a lot better one time. He did a lot better one time. Like,
I don't think that's the one. Awesome.
I don't think that's a big enough sample size. I like this pick. I really do. I think one of the very, very similar, but not exactly the same. You could have mentioned it. Probably could fall underneath the same category of pick that you just made.
Jelly donut.
You have a taco and it doesn't fall out the bottom because the amount of food that they put on your taco fully is supported by the bread you have. That's the absolute worst. A taco that falls out, don't like that.
But here's
I love a
solution.
down sandwich.
Here's a solution to your taco, Griffin. You get 2 tortillas. You put one underneath. Then you eat the other one, so everything falls out. You got your second taco.
Right. I mean, if you're making your own taco, of course. But if you're getting tacos like at a restaurant or something like that, and they're giving you some flimsy corn bullshit,
right? You know, I was just gonna say the same thing. If you're going out to eat, then I completely agree with the taco statement. But if eating at home, I really don't mind it. I'm make a taco salad with the parts that fall out. It's all good.
Yeah,
but back to your
mouth, you have to at home.
But to your sandwich burger point, this is a pretty good pick.
I will say the one exception for me is a bacon, egg, and cheese, because sometimes I like my yolk a little runny, so and I can get my last piece in the yolk on the plate. That's an exception.
I like the occasional sandwich with a little like hot sauce running over the edge, because then like you got a little bit of like extra bread or like something going on at the end.
Man, Griffin, you spicy.
I really want to do a list of sandwiches. I think we need to do that in a later episode.
It's insane that we keep avoiding it. And part of that is me. Every week I'm like, I just don't think we should do food. And then no matter what we do, food comes up because we are very one-note people. We love food and not much else.
I'm not normally the one that has to have that has 20 and have to narrow it down to 5. If we do sandwiches, I don't think I can get that to 5. Not comfortably, not happily.
I think sandwiches is not one that we could prep like day of. It's like give me 3 to 4 weeks. Let me go around town a little bit and see if there's any like specific delicacies that I want to put on this, and then we could do like a lightning round episode where we just are all screaming at each other as many sandwiches as we possibly can in like a minute.
So like what we do when we hang out in person.
Yeah. I mean, why yell sandwiches at each other?
Why wouldn't people do that? Yeah. Is that not what most friends do?
It's pretty much just us ordering at Billy's. So
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of options. What are we going to do? Not take advantage of those options? Come on. That'd be ridiculous. All right. Great number 4. It was food-based, so we love it.
Number 3 is, I'm calling it the minty breathe-in or breath-in. Whatever looks better typed out. When you chewing piece of gum, you just brush your teeth, and the air is a little chilly, and you breathe in, and it's like you're in a commercial for mint, and it's just ice.
And it's the word inhale. Nice. You could just say inhale.
Nah, it doesn't flow.
I feel like it flows way better.
Minty inhale.
Yes.
Yeah, you sound like you're in a Dentine commercial when you say that.
I would watch Thomas in a Dentine commercial.
I'm talking about that minty breath in.
Yeah, no, that's
breathe in.
It would never in my life have occurred to me
because it's underrated.
Right. It's underrated, and also it's just not one that immediately springs to mind for me. But it's a good feeling, definitely. The only problem is that sometimes it's like a little bit too much, and then you get like cold teeth. So you got to have like perfect balance of the minty breathe. And I feel really old saying that I get cold teeth.
It sounded very old.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an old
like
thing.
Cold teeth and my bones hurt and I throw up blood. Let's not focus on it.
I don't think that's like traditionally an old thing, but it did sound
definitely an old people thing. Yeah. No, believe
old
me, Thomas. As your senior here, believe me, at some point you're gonna get some cold teeth.
Thomas is gonna get all these deals to do like gum commercials, and Griffin, you're just gonna be doing like every pharmaceutical company in the world.
Dentures.
Yeah, and dentures.
Yeah, I'm in. I love me some gum.
Give me that Cialis.
The minty breathe in, inhale, whatever you want to call it. Pretty good. I guess it's underrated. You're right. I feel like I could have just gone as broad as just like post brushing teeth feeling in general, not even be as specific as like the inhale, because I feel like it just feels good in general.
Okay, nerd.
Yeah, I mean, maybe go a little bit too broad with it, Andrew.
Dental
But
hygiene.
while we're on the topic, if you had to choose inhale or breath in, what would you choose, Andrew?
Depends on the situation.
All right, you're. I don't need you. He would choose inhale if you weren't listening right now, Thomas. Let me know. Know that.
Okay, I'm gonna just keep breathing in and moving on.
Yeah.
My number two. So I believe naps are not underrated. They're not. People love naps. People
Very
love
appropriately
naps.
rated. Yeah.
Something that I don't think gets talked about enough is the unexpected nap. The nap that you're not planning, you're not thinking about it, and you're just watching TV and you doze off for 15 minutes, you wake up and you feel amazing. And you're like, whoa, I didn't waste too much time. I didn't lose any part of my day, but I feel great. I wasn't ready for it, but I got it and I deserved it. Number two, the unexpected nap.
I'm gonna have a hot take incoming. Like, if
Hold on,
if
hold on,
if
hold on. Before you have a hot take, let me just mute you real quick so we don't have to hear it.
Listeners at home, make sure you skip ahead.
if my unexpected naps turned out the way that you just described them, absolutely. But I feel like 50% of the time I wake up feeling groggy. I feel like a planned nap is safer. Unexpected nap can lead to unexpected feelings when you wake up. So
Okay, what?
my hot take
What?
is that
What?
I don't like this pick.
What do you mean?
What feelings? What feelings?
What do you mean unexpected feelings?
We said it was going to get weird. No, I just mean like either grogginess or like you could feel great or you could feel worse than before you took the nap. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm kind of divided between the two of you on this one. Thomas, I do get what you mean. It's just like you're taking a chance. When you have an unexpected nap, you're taking a chance and you don't know.
But you're not
There's
taking the
times where
chance.
I've
The
had
chance is taking you.
right, and there's times where I've woken up from an unexpected nap and felt awesome and ready to like conquer the day. And then there's times where I wake up from an unexpected nap and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm late for school. I need to get out of the house. And then I realize that it's 6 p.m. on a Saturday and I'm
And that you're 29 years old. Yeah.
yeah. So there's an element of stress to the unexpected nap. It comes with some anxiety from time to time. And I'm going to be honest with you. Probably, I said 50%, probably more than 50% involves me waking up in a panic, thinking that something has to be done that may not pertain to my life at all, or coming out of just like the weirdest dream of my life. Like my nap dreams are so much more bizarre than my what's it you do at night? My sleep dreams. I couldn't think of the word for sleep.
No, but here's the thing. I didn't say every unexpected nap is this underrated pleasure. The unexpected nap where you wake up feeling good, where everything works out. That's the underrated pleasure.
This is a bold text. Maybe some spaces between the letters.
No, but like, and here's my thing about planned naps. I'm not good at like when I'm trying to fall asleep. I'm not good at falling asleep. So when I plan to take a nap, I'm like, I have an hour to take a nap. I spend 50 minutes not napping. But if I'm just like on the couch watching some, I don't know, Olympic handball, and I just like, a little dad nap, I'm here for it.
The sound effects really sell that it is something that you do.
I don't think I snore.
Having been on vacation with you, you don't not snore. I'm fine with like it's your pick. It wouldn't make my list because like I'm naps are probably in my life the most appropriately rated pleasure. I fucking love a nap and. Griffin moved to California, oh, whatever. But like one of the best parts of moving out here or one of the most unexpected parts that I didn't realize was going to happen working on East Coast time is that I was going to be able to reintroduce naps to my life because I get done with work at like 2:30, 3 p.m. I did not realize how much I missed a fucking nap. Naps are the best. Unexpected ones, they're okay. They differ. Results may vary.
Yeah, it's just Russian roulette. I get what you're saying. Ideally, you're picking the perfect one, but
Yeah.
We got to push back on you on that one.
Can't let you run away with this one. That food pick,
I mean,
I'm still thinking about it.
the reason it wouldn't be on Griffin's list is because it's not a pick that would be on a trash list. So makes sense.
No arguments. Here.
Anyway, number one.
Said it was a good pick.
Number one, I don't know. I might get emotional about this one.
I hope you do.
I think we're all gonna, to be honest, it's really gonna connect with everyone. Underrated pleasure is the concept, the event, the time, wing night.
Oh, baby.
While wing night is loved, I do believe it's loved. I don't think it's fully appreciated how great of a thing wing night really is. And specifically for us, Hard Times Cafe, wing night, phenomenal. But when a place has a night dedicated to wings, it's dedicated to the people. 50-cent wing night, 25-cent wing night, whatever it is, it's for the people. And I don't think it gets enough credit.
I'd go as far as to even say $1 wing night. I mean, at this point in our lives, we can't eat that much.
That's fair. So please shower me with your praise.
Yeah, I need a moment. Just thinking about wing night past.
I miss Hard Times.
You take your moment, Andrew. I don't have. This is a great number one pick for the listeners back home. You might not understand the emotion that Thomas knew that this would bring out in Andrew and I, but there are few things on this earth better than wing night. And you have to mention wing night for me to really think and love and appreciate wing night. And I feel like I might get emotional. I just don't know if I can. We might need
tearing up.
Take it. Wait. I'm not tearing up.
I'm gonna tear up.
I need to take a break. I don't know. I'm thinking about wings. I'm thinking about Hard Times. I'm thinking about night out with the boys. Home by 10 p.m. though, because we're not savages.
Oh, exactly. It's a Wednesday night, so like.
Yeah. We got work in the morning. We have jobs. We have.
Oh yeah, we're not going crazy.
Yeah.
We're not going crazy. We're just getting fat together.
Oh,
yeah, I could go for about 40 wings right now. I just ate dinner, but I could still eat 40 wings.
I mean, that like summer and a half, like year and a half, mostly summertime, where we were like, I don't know, weekly at Hard Times.
We were consistent.
We were there.
We were repeat offenders.
I feel like you could have brought in this. I mean, I think your pick's perfect, but I'm saying like for mass appeal, you could have brought it to say like a regular, I don't know, restaurant night or bar night. Like,
but I feel like that's appreciated.
Even as I'm saying it, I'm regretting saying it. I don't know.
The thing about,
that's what I mean. Like
in my mind, the thing about wing night that makes it underrated is that there's no way anyone could ever rate it high enough. Because it's just the perfect thing, and there's just no way to express perfection. So no matter how much you wax poetic about it, it's gonna be underrated, and it's like it's something else to everyone.
That's the thing. Like, you could when restaurants have burger nights or pasta nights, or whatever. But like that's what makes wing night, I think, underrated because there's other nights, but there's just something about wing night. With the boys and the girls, we don't discriminate. But just like, if you're not getting wings, what are you doing there?
What are you doing?
And like, if you get boneless wings, I'm gonna give you shit. But at the same time, like, boneless wings are great, so dig in.
Live your life. It's still a wing. Have a good time.
Live your inferior life.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do love a bone.
Eat your chicken nuggets.
Not on wing night. On wing night, it's bone in every time.
Unless it's boneless.
You got to work for it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
God forbid, though. But yeah. Thomas, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You're on my short list to win this week. You're definitely top 3.
the short list of the only one who's given a list.
And the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
thing about Wing Night, the crowd at Wing Night, all sorts of people, in the crowd. I
Also
mean,
in class.
there are people that are doing great in life. There are people that are doing miserable in life, and they're all at Wing Night, and we're somewhere in between. Granted, we might be on.
Some of them are sitting at the same table. I would
Yes.
argue that our group of friends, at every time we went to Wing Night, had people from the bottom of that range to the top of that range, and every
Yes.
week
Yeah.
it could have been a different guy.
It
Or
was-
now.
Everybody
yeah,
and
no.
everybody's there at Wing Night having a good time, and at the end of the night, you're looking forward to the next Wing Night.
If I could,
Andrew,
vote
that's a great
for-
point.
Yeah, if I could just vote for best pick, and I might. I'm looking at my list. I don't know if I'm beating this one. So this is probably going to be the best pick. Andrew, I hope that you have something that compares, but I don't know if I do.
Andrew, you made a great point. The crowd at Wing Night is it's what you want
Diverse.
in a crowd. It's diverse. It's everything you could want, and everyone's there for the same reason, and it's phenomenal.
It's a night without
So-
judgment, and it's once a week, preferably
And,
on a
like-
Wednesday, because it's got to break up your week. It's the only thing getting your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday work. You're looking forward to it. Thursday, Friday, you're riding the high. You're riding it right into the weekend.
All right, so
Give us your recap.
recap. Number 5, the gas pump stoppage at 0. 4, the perfect ratio to a burger, sandwich, etc. Perfect ratio to a burger. No unnecessary mess. Number 3, a minty breath in, not inhale. Number 2, the unexpected nap where you wake up feeling refreshed. And number 1, always in our hearts, forever and ever, Wing Night.
I want to say R.I.P., but Wing Night will never die.
And can we have a moment of silence for
Yeah, I think
Wing
we should.
Nights that
We
have
should
passed?
we probably actually shouldn't have a moment of silence because it's not great audio. But there is a moment of silence
I
going
can
on
hum.
in all of our hearts right now.
All right, so this
There
was good.
was.
All right,
Good-
yeah.
this is a
So
good
we'll see you guys
episode.
next week, where I'll give my list, and then the following week Andrew will give his, and somehow we'll figure out a way to vote on. No, I will go next. Thomas, great list. Andrew, got anything to say?
Good list.
All right. So far the range is good to great. Thomas, thoughts on how good?
Just like the crowd at Wing Night.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Not wrong. You're not incorrect. All right. Yeah, I am not confident. I was coming into this and I felt pretty good about mine. I'm not confident anymore, and I might not vote for myself. I
I
don't
told
think
you guys I was gonna get my shit
came in
together.
hot. You came in hot. Some of those picks were iffy, but you had 2 food picks that just really set my okay. All
Bump
right,
food.
number 5 on my list. Let's get going with it before Thomas can interrupt me, because it's kind of his thing. Number 5 on my list, and it's a basic one. Going to someone's house, your house, friend's house, family's house, neighbor's house, anyone's house, really, and getting greeted by a dog. Doesn't have to be your dog. Doesn't have to be their dog. They could just be watching a dog. A dog could be there. There could be an event ongoing and somebody chose to bring their dog. They could be watching a dog. A dog could have run away and they may be taking care of it. Who's to say? Doesn't matter. You walk in somebody's front door or back door, doesn't matter. You walk in a door and there's a dog that greets you. Life's good. There's no, like, even anti-dog people, which I don't really agree with. I don't think they're a thing. I think they just haven't met the right dogs yet. There's just love and warmth as you're walking in the store, and like, yeah, people can say hi and people can hug you and people can tell you how much they appreciate having you there and all that stuff, but fuck them. I don't care about them. I'm there to see that dog, and we're gonna have a great time and we're gonna be friends, and I'm gonna leave with a new canine companion at the end of the day, or however long I'm at this house for. And it's just
Like you're stealing the
it's-
dog?
Well,
Can,
I mean,
can I be honest?
a companion in spirit.
There was a point where like I was getting nervous when you were saying like all the different kinds of houses that you were just gonna start breaking into houses. And then you get into like the front door.
Maybe you're breaking into a house. Maybe you're breaking into a house.
house.
Maybe you are robbing this family and you are greeted by a dog. And you know what? That robbery has a high point. Might have a low point, but it definitely has a high point.
So are you limiting this to at houses?
Trailer
Yep.
parks.
Yeah, what if you see a stray dog
I
on the
meant
street?
like on the street, yeah.
On the street, you know, they're probably going about their business. They're probably trying to like do something. But if they're at a house, they're kind of just like kicking
they're
it.
trying to
They're just, like,
greet.
ready to see
What
you.
about at work?
Anytime somebody enters a building, you know, a dog is like, "Oh fuck, somebody's entering the building. I gotta greet them." Like you know exactly what I mean. I'm sure
I do.
if you're watching on YouTube right now, if somebody were to enter my apartment during the course of this recording, you will see Vino do this with whoever enters. He's going to try and give them a hug. He's going to lick their hands. He's going to jump all over them. They might be a little bit frustrated by it because he's a big, strong dog, but they're going to feel the love.
I appreciate that you thought you needed to explain what you meant by dogs greeting people at the door. I think
Honestly,
everyone in the world has been in this situation. It's a good situation. Very good.
I thought he was gonna act it out when he was like, "You might see Vino do this," and I thought you were gonna act it out.
Yeah, if I get him riled up, I'm not going to be able to get him riled back down. So probably for the best, I don't.
I love dogs, so I mean the downfall to this is that sometimes the dog doesn't want to greet you, or it wants to greet someone else and not you, and then rejection sucks.
Maybe the dog doesn't want to greet you, but no dog's never not wanted to greet me. I'm a dog
I
guy.
can't wait for my dog to hate you.
Got a dog?
You're gonna train your dog to hate him.
I will.
Oh, okay. Feels anti-Semitic, but let's not focus on it.
Okay. Yeah, let's not.
Yeah. This is good. I'm like struggling on whether it's underrated or not. I guess it is because it didn't come to my mind like when coming up with this list, but it shouldn't be. I mean, I think everybody loves dogs, besides the people that don't. But agreed. I agreed with you.
And we disagree with those people.
They probably have not met the right dog. But yeah, it's like no person could ever be that unconditionally happy to see you. And if they were, that would be creepy, and I would not want that.
Yeah, because like sometimes a dog like pees because it's so excited, and that's like if you're not the one who has to clean it up, like, that's like I love you too. Like how do I show that appreciation? I can't.
You could pee on the dog.
See, no, but then you get kicked out.
Good, you could in fact pee on the dog. I would recommend against it. I would caution against it. Having never done it, but it's always in the back pocket in case you need to exert dominance.
You keep it in your back pocket?
The act of peeing on a dog.
You know what I meant.
Oh no. Okay, number 5, Griffin. Good pick. Number 4. This one I think is not going to speak to Tommy too much, but I know it's going to speak to Andrew. And I might be stealing it from his life a little bit. He's actually the one that's got me thinking about it recently. Dog days of summer, middle of the afternoon. You got a couple beers. You got a hot dog, 2 hot dogs, 3 hot dogs, a lot of hot dogs.
I mean, that speaks to me.
It's a weekday. You're skipping work. You're at the ballpark. You're watching a baseball game. My guy Andrew's wearing a Nats shirt right now. Doesn't matter if your team is a World Series contender. Doesn't matter if your team is tanking and rebuilding and is the Baltimore Orioles. Doesn't matter at all. They could be an absolute joke like the Baltimore Orioles. The vibes are immaculate. The baseball's being played. You're not at work. You're having a beer. You're having one of the best meats that you can buy in a public setting and have delivered to you immediately.
Agreed.
But people are always saying, go Griffin, the dog days of summer is when baseball sucks. Like the playoff race, it's boring. All these teams are bad. It's so hot out. Fuck that. That's dumb. Baseball's awesome. Hot dogs are awesome. Beer's awesome. Skipping work, the most awesome. Doing it by yourself or with some friends, doesn't matter. You're having a good time at the ballpark. Number 4 pick. Great pick. I feel good about it.
Is it underrated?
Yes. Well,
you're saying that it's underrated, specifically like Dog Days of Summer, really
dog
hot
days of summer.
games,
Gotta be dog
day
days of summer. Gotta
games,
be a late July, early or like a
ga-
May through July.
games that tend to like not be fully attended, like half attendance at most.
See,
you've got a 40,000 seat stadium. You got 13,000 people there. You've got a section to yourself, maybe a few stands or fans out there, all of whom got gloves, all of whom are dressed like they came from work because they're putting on airs. Come on.
I don't disagree, but I don't like you calling it dog days of summer, because like that means something different to me, and that's like hard days. And also, do you have a theme going on? Is it all dog?
I don't. I actually did not think about it, but looking at my list, I did use dog a lot in my opening paragraphs.
I will say this is not something I've really experienced much, just because of what I do and where I've lived. But I understand the pleasures of it. I get that you're saying these specific games are underappreciated, but or underrated. I just don't think it's that underrated of a pleasure. I think it's appropriately rated well.
I would go as far as to say that at this point, baseball is underrated.
Yeah. I mean, I that I agree with that.
Handball.
LeBron James, I mean, handball gold medalist.
Just look at my list from last time. I like the weird sports apparently, but yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, to be honest with you.
Because you were thinking about those days, and like I said, I got this inspiration from Andrew. I mean, I'm always thinking about baseball.
That's what I was going to say. I've been doing this recently. I've been going to games like by myself because I have kind of season tickets to the Nats, which I didn't particularly want, but now that I have them, I appreciate them, and I like going to games that are, kind of nobody cares about. Although I will say what you're saying about if your team sucks, it doesn't matter. Yes, but definitely a lot better if your team's good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around that.
You probably remember the awful days of like 2009 through like 2012, where you could feel the talent trickling into the ballpark, but like it was taking its time, and we were starting to get good draft picks, and we were starting to build some organizational culture, but the team still stunk, and we were still winning like 65, 70 games at most. Like, I will take those days over not having a day at the ballpark. I would still love to watch ballpark baseball.
100%.
I'll say this. I would like to be in the shade at these games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's
pigment.
100-degree games are sometimes tough. The only benefit is that I feel like I got to work out afterwards, and all I was doing was sitting and eating hot dogs.
And you go home and you're tanner, and that's like, to some of us that feels good. Although we should probably take better care of our skin because we are aging just so quickly.
Yeah, you have cold teeth.
I do have cold teeth
and erectile dysfunction.
Hey, let's get in touch.
All right. So what's your dog pick for number 3?
I don't have a dog pick for number 3, although it is similar to something that dogs do. This one is actually a little bit more in line with the past weekend.
Walk.
Is it pooping?
It's gonna be walk. It's gonna be
no, hiking. I don't think pooping is an underrated pleasure. I think a lot of people like pooping. I don't, but I think a lot of people do. I don't.
Move on.
Yeah, let's not focus on it. Let's get back to my erectile dysfunction. My number 3.
Number 3 when it works.
No, that wouldn't be underrated. That would be overrated, I would argue. My number 3 pick is laying on a cold floor when you're hungover. And I went back and forth in my head a little bit on whether or not this is an underrated pleasure or a simple pleasure. But I don't think it's one that people really think about very often until they're in that moment and they're trying. Oh, hello. They're trying desperately to, make up for the fact that they feel like actively dying. And I think we've all done it. Everyone's done it, whether it's a cold floor or, barring that, a bathtub. With no water on it. It has to be empty or else it doesn't count. It doesn't cure anything. You're not going to feel better for a long period of time, but you lay down on that cold, icy floor and ignore for a second that your teeth are cold, and you briefly feel like you're seeing and feeling God, and it is the best feeling ever for that brief time. And then it just goes back to being hungover and wanting to die, and no one cares about that time because we're all going to get through it. We're going to be fine. But when you first touch that cold floor, oh man, it's up there.
I'll be honest. I don't really do this.
Do you not?
I think I've done it before, probably inadvertently.
I think you should do it.
Good. I'm not claiming it doesn't feel good. It's just not something that ever comes to my mind to do. I mean, I'd argue drinking a gallon of water feels better than laying on a cold floor after being hungover. I don't know. Thomas, do you do this?
No.
Do you guys not do this?
No. This is not how I deal with a hangover.
I imagine you don't have a hangover. I imagine you just go about your day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's if there's one thing I know about Tom.
He takes it like a man.
Yeah, he takes it like a man, and then eventually he'll tell his therapist about it, in addition to other things.
Therapist?
Yeah.
I should get one.
Therapist.
No, I understand the potential for this feeling great and being pleasurable, but yeah, it's not something I seek out to do when I'm hungover.
I think I'm embarrassed for you because it feels great.
I'm not.
All right. Well, next time you're hungover, give it a shot. FaceTime me. We'll talk about it.
Hey,
I feel like I'm embarrassed for you, Griffin, because you were
auto thing.
I feel like I'm
You know
embarrassed
what
for
I
you
mean with the
you were
auto thing, the little trigger.
You're expecting this pick to land, and it just fell flat.
Yeah.
With both.
Oh
of
no!
us.
I did not expect this one to be a popular choice. I'm just coming off of. If I hadn't been coming off a hangover, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. But because because my apartment's hot as fuck all the time, and I can't do this. It is now like the thing that I want most desperately in the world.
It sounds like you're just hot.
I am quite hot.
Yeah,
but
you're wearing a sweatshirt.
It's light. And also, let me tell you about the sweatshirt. Let me tell you why I'm wearing the sweatshirt.
Oh.
Didn't want to wear a t-shirt, but I got a lot of flack on a recent pod from you guys about the only reason that I'm winning has something to do with my bare arms. I think you said that they were like glistening and luscious, and they just look like they're stacked to the brim with muscles that most people don't even have. True. Every part of that true. But I wanted to give you guys a fair shake this week. The fact that my elbows are uncovered might be too much. Like that might get me too many votes. So, I'm trying to help you
I'm
out.
gonna stop you here because I'm over hearing you just make shit up about.
Well, so the thing is,
whatever.
I was gonna do the same and stop him and be like, "Stop making shit up." But I think he genuinely dreamt this and thought that this happened, which makes me sad for so many reasons because his dream.
We talked about it last week. We talked about the bare arms.
No one ever used luscious in your arms. No one ever.
The adjectives are unimportant. The adjectives are unimportant. The adjectives they were comparative to what you said.
Much like this little rant you just went on, when you were saying this number 3, I felt so awkward and uncomfortable because, like Andrew said, it wasn't landing, and you have clearly so much like feelings for it, and like I didn't know if I should just nod and say yes, and then like later on tell you no, or
you should agree. You should agree. It's
like people like
to agree.
People will say yes to the proposal in public, and then when they go in private, they'd be like, actually no, but I didn't want to do that in public. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, frankly, I'm kind of embarrassed for you.
Do people do that, Thomas? Is that a thing that you're aware of people doing? That's worse. That would be worse because then people would be like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited for your wedding," and you'd be like, "Oh no, actually, we had a talk, 30 minutes after our public proposal. Turns out we're not getting married and we're not together."
Hey, don't do public proposals.
I agree with that. Don't do like a big screen proposal. You can do one like at the park or something, whatever. No, don't. Okay, all right. Cross that one off the list. Okay,
Go lay on the floor.
I wish I could. I'm so hot. Okay, so 2 great picks and a pick that maybe you guys don't love. It is what it is. My number 2 pick, and this one actually sprang to mind again, very recently saw it on Arnett's Instagram story and thought to myself, man, this was like one of the things that I loved doing the most when I was a kid, and you know, a little bit as an adult, but just hasn't come up a lot as an adult. Swimming in the rain, being in an ocean during a storm, not like a thunderstorm, but like being in the ocean during a storm or in the pool during a storm, just having a good time, like a nice casual storm with your friends. Like you're the only people out there. There's not a lot of things better than that. It's like relaxing but also exhilarating, and it's peaceful but also loud as fuck. Like it's just like it's a whole combination of things, and it never would occur to me if I did not see it on an Instagram story in the past 24 hours. So it's underrated even for me.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about doing stuff in the rain, like even like a light drizzle and you're playing football or something in it. There's something about it. It adds just a little spice.
Yeah, and I especially like you said, being in the water, whether it's the pool or the ocean, it's like hard to tell how hard it's raining when you're in the water. It doesn't even feel like it's raining that much, and it could be pouring. And when you take a step outside the pool or outside the ocean, it's like, oh shit, it's miserable out here. But in the water, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And it's like am I underwater, am I above water? I don't know because there's water everywhere. Yeah, it's a good time. Good pick.
Yeah. I feel like I stopped having that thought process when I was like 9, but like generally I am picking up what you're putting down, and it's just one of those feelings. So it's
I never would have thought of
feeling.
this. I've never even heard someone talk about this. I mean, everyone knows the feeling, and I think everyone likes the feeling, but nobody talks.
I guess unless you're afraid of the water, in which case it's probably like the most terrifying thing that can happen.
Oh yeah, because you come from both ends.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I can't escape it. What do I do? Drown, I guess. Like your life's over.
No, I guess that shows how underrated it is. I don't really see how your theme of dogs fits in, but like, no, good pick. Swimming in the rain.
The last day of the
kind
pool,
of like singing.
The last day of the pool in the summer, dogs are allowed in the pool at the end. So maybe it rains that day. I don't know.
Maybe it rains that day.
Yeah. Didn't think this was a dog based. I said two picks had to do with dogs, and one of them was dogs
lay on the floor. Yeah,
dogs do lay on the floor. Yeah, that's true. I did say that. Pretty embarrassing for me. All right, number 1 pick. Don't really need to debate number 2 that much because we're all in agreement. Great pick. Really fits.
You don't need to recap every time.
Yeah.
You
don't need to give a review.
But I do this every week, and as you guys know, I win a lot. So clearly, I do need to do this every time.
You're just complicating things. You're like my number 3 pick, 4.7 stars. My number 2 pick, 4.3 stars.
I would never give myself any less than 5 stars.
Yeah, but except you literally said first 2 picks were great, and I guess 3 wasn't because you guys didn't like it. Make up your mind.
Yeah, no. For someone with such an inflated ego, you depend on us so much for validation. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean we've been over this, like unbelievable arrogance and ego, crippling self-doubt. Like there's not one without the other. We're all aware of it. Anyone listening to if we have people listening to the pod that are not part of our social circle, you've probably got me down to a T at this point. Like you probably figured out the whole GQ experience. It's not complicated. Number 1 pick. All right, let's do it. Let's see if this is one that connects with you guys. Might not. Might. I don't know. Might. I do. Before I get into it, I will say this might not. I don't know if it'll be considered an underrated pleasure. It might be a very appropriately rated pleasure. We'll see. April 26th, 2019. Midnight. You're surrounded by your friends. Maybe you're surrounded by some family, depending on what their interests are. You've had a pretty emotional night. Like things have been popping off. It's been a rough one. Highs, lows, good times, bad times. A lot of things have been happening. Man picks himself up off the dirt. He squares his feet. He looks at the horizon, and you hear on your left. Things start to pick up. Things start to happen. People are appearing. People you didn't think you'd see again. Friends that you thought you lost. And at the culmination of all of this, you hear the words that you've waited years, potentially even your whole life, depending on what kind of person you are, a nerd, to hear. Captain America stands there, surrounded on all sides by the people that matter most to him. And he says, Avengers, assemble. And you know what they fucking do? Those Avengers assemble. Crowd goes wild. Theater roars. Everyone is potentially on their feet depending on how into it they are. Everything is good again in the universe. But you don't think about this moment that often, unless you're watching it on YouTube every other week like I do.
So here's the thing. What's the pleasure? The moment or
The Avengers assemble. The Avengers assemble.
Not underrated. Also, if I was in the theater and someone stood up in front of me during that moment, I would have kicked them in the back of the head.
There were, so this may be a little bit biased based on the theater I was in. I was at what's it called near Andrew, in Cleveland Park. Uptown. Yeah. So it's like a staggered theater. A lot of people stood up in that theater. A lot of people stood up in that theater.
Like
there were
for the pilot.
Tears. There was clapping. Yeah, it's like clapping for a plane landing, which Andrew does.
Oh my God.
It's a momentous occasion. And I don't know if I can call it, like, I think it's an underrated pleasure because I don't think a lot of people really can know how much that moment meant to them. But I think it meant something to all of us.
Are you gonna cry again?
People don't. I might. I don't think people appreciate that fact enough.
I love this moment. Love this movie. Love this scene. I can't agree that it's underrated. I think the people that appreciate it and get pleasure from it,
humanity,
it's appropriately rated for them.
I don't know. I don't know if people were thinking about. I don't know if people realize that this is why, to me, it's underrated. I don't know if people realize that's the best moment of their lives.
Oh my God! If this is the best moment of your life, then that's. I mean, I have no doubt that it is. Don't get me wrong. But that just says a lot about you. It says
the right things about me.
Coming from another huge nerd, this is your nerdiest fucking pick. I mean, first of all, like we just talked, this is a fictional pick. Like I understand that you listened to it in your real life.
2019 was a real date that occurred.
I understand. Yeah, it just no. This is this is not going to get the reaction that you want. I agree with Thomas. Great movie, great scene, great moment, but no.
I mean, 10 to 15 years after you guys have had like the births of your children and all that stuff, you've been married, your kids have been born, like you've had some momentous occasions in life. We're gonna talk about this again, and you're gonna be like, you know what, Griffin, you're right. This was better than the birth of my first through fourth children. I don't know how many kids you guys are gonna have. We'll say 4.
I'm way too poor.
Okay, Thomas is gonna have an only child.
Here's the thing. As someone who teared up when Kat picked up Meow, and like felt emotions that I never felt before and haven't felt since. It's not underrated. I appreciate it for what it is. I sometimes watch it to get the feelings.
You felt emotions
get there
that you haven't felt since, and ones that you've never felt before, and you won't say it was the most momentous moment in your life.
But that does make it underrated. That makes it rated.
No, it's underrated because you don't appreciate how highly rated that moment should be for you.
No, I'm literally telling you. I appreciate it.
You're wrong because you don't know how much you appreciate it.
No, you're wrong because you don't know what underrated means.
Well, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about underrated moments. We're talking about simple pleasures. So.
Oh, yeah, that was the topic. I completely forgot what the topic was. Simple pleasures. Wait, no, underrated pleasures.
No, it's underrated pleasures.
It's underrated pleasures.
We got in your head. I incepted it into your brain.
God damn it.
It is underrated pleasures.
God damn it. This is going to be tough for me to come up with a list next week when it's my turn.
Yeah, also, we may have to, like, we're going to put out an Instagram graphic and then realize an hour in that we put out the wrong title for it. To give my recap before you guys can, cry about how great of a scene this was. And it's unimportant what's happening on my face right now. My number 5 pick, getting greeted by a dog at anyone's house or anywhere, really.
Honestly, your best pick.
Thanks, man. Number 4, skipping work to go to a baseball game, Dog Days of Summer. Number 3, laying on a cold floor or in a bathtub when you're hungover. Number 2, swimming in the rain. And then number 1, the world's greatest victory, really, overall, when the Avengers assemble.
I can't be honest. Laying on the floor in a bathtub just sounds so sad.
No, not well. You wouldn't be laying on a floor in a bathtub. You'd be laying in the bathtub at that point.
I said or bathtub.
Oh,
Just like it
look,
literally
man,
sounds
do it.
like a scene from like a sad movie, and like I can just picture you there with like your gallon of ice cream, just like
Yeah, and the other thing
curled
about that
up.
pick is the other thing about that pick is like yes, like maybe you have like a little bit of relief from the hangover from laying on the floor, but you're still like miserably hungover to the point that you're laying on a bathroom floor, and that's
It's
one
a
of your
long-term pleasures.
and that's
It's
one
a
of your
long-term
underrated pleasures.
Yeah, wing night's going to lead to at least half of our friend group almost shitting themselves to death. But we're not going to focus on that part of it because wing night is still a great portion of it.
Okay, first off, worried about you if that's what wing night does to you.
Oh no, my body's
adjust,
fine, but
evolve.
you know there are people in our group that they are not fine.
I like two of your picks.
Yeah, it was fine. Thomas's list was good. Yours was fine to decent.
All right, guess who's using their burners this week? This guy.
Yeah.
All right.
On to my list of whatever the hell we're doing. Underrated pleasures. I think that's what we've decided on. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Simple right. Plan. We're doing Simple Plan songs.
Number 5. Learning every word to a new song, especially if it's like a fast song, like either rap or just like a fast song that you really like, a new song that you're a big fan of that you just listen to on repeat and you learn all the lyrics. That's all I have to say about this.
Let me chew on it for a little bit. I get why it would be underrated. Not one that really pertains to me because I don't have like a Rain Man relationship with the music that I listen to. And also, like, I'm going to be completely honest. I, like the vast majority of people, probably learn like 75 to 80% of the words to a song and then kind of mumble my way through the rest of them and just make like guttural noises.
Exactly. But imagine if you didn't mumble that 15
so
to 20%.
But that's half the fun of it. That's half the fun of it. I don't want
how good you would feel. How good you would feel.
So I'm going to go off Griffin's and then change it to be better. Okay. I usually don't learn 100% because there's so much knowledge up here. I can't learn 100% of songs.
You run out of words.
Instead of just mumbling, I like to make things up, and that's sometimes more fun.
There are definitely songs that I've heard before where the lyrics that I thought I knew to the song were better than the actual lyrics. They made more sense in the context of the song, and then you find out like, no, that's not what they were saying. What they were saying was utter gibberish. That song might be worse for me now.
But here's the thing. If you believe you know all the words, even if they're the completely wrong words, that's the same as knowing all the words in terms of this pick, because you in your heart of heart believes that you knew all the words. So there's no difference mentally.
I understand the pleasure of it, and sure, it's an underrated pleasure. I don't think it's as big of a pleasure as you're making it out to be, but
I wouldn't call it a top 5 pleasure.
Yeah. It does fit an underrated pleasure, just like a really little pleasure, like a tiny guy.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll say I can't really hate on that too much because I said laying on a cold floor while hungover, and I specified that it's 3 to 4 seconds of relief. So I mean, like, if he's getting a few seconds of joy out of this, I guess that's comparable.
I mean, again, when it comes down to it,
this feels like an Andrew Rainman pick. Like it's like something that like no one else on earth has ever thought about until this very moment.
People talk about it
until they read this list. They're gonna realize how good of a pick it is.
Learning lyrics.
No one's gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's a great pick." They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah,
that's so underrated."
Okay.
They're gonna be like, "Andrew picked that."
Singers literally do this
Andrew,
all the time.
Back at it. Yeah, what we should do is just mix up the picks and see if people can figure out who picked what.
That could be fun.
Like a group me game.
We'll just do like a quick list and like guess whose list this was. I mean, I think we're our audience knows us at this point.
I don't know. We had skeleton, bobsled, and luge.
That's true. That one would have been complicated because I could have seen any of us given the exact same answers for each one.
I was just going to say, I don't know that knowing that I picked skeleton Griffin picked luge and Thomas picked bobsled. I don't know if I had to guess,
I
before
wouldn't
we
have
made
picked
those
that. I
lists,
would have said that I would say skeleton. I think that probably you said luge, and then Thomas did bobsled. Actually, maybe you're a bobsled guy. I definitely would think that I would have picked the dumbest thing, which is, of course, skeleton.
Yeah, I was a bit of a wild card last week.
It's the dumbest sport that people have ever participated in, and it's just asking for traumatic brain injuries, which makes it cool.
Number 4. I think you guys are gonna like this one.
Hope so.
I think you thought that about your 5. So
paying for something with your Venmo balance. So like having enough in your balance to not have to withdraw it from your bank account. So if someone, like, especially if it's like very close, where someone charges you like $120 and you have like 120.84 in your Venmo account, and you're like, hell yeah, this is like free money. I know it's not. I know I paid it a while back through something, but I have it in my Venmo balance, so therefore it's free money to me.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think of this one because I paid you for this year's gambling dues out of the insane amount of money that I currently have in my Venmo, and then told you about it today?
Maybe subconsciously in the back of my mind, that's why it was on my mind. But I've thought about this before. This has happened to me before, where it's been like, it goes the other way. Like it's upsetting when you owe like $1 more than what you have in your Venmo account, so it all has to come out of your bank account.
Or you do a double Venmo, which is arguably more annoying.
Which I don't do.
I just don't understand how these are your first 2 picks and you didn't like my gas pumping pick.
Again, because you're very similar to Rain Man.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, these are very Rain Man picks. Like, I love when I have the correct amount in my Venmo account, but oh God, if the number of the gas station stops on 0.
Oh, 80 pencil on the ground.
I get it's. I don't get a lot of pleasure from this. Like, I see what you're saying, but like, I don't know. I will fucking make more money.
I'll take the opposite. I'll take the opposite view of Thomas on this one. Although I do agree with his make more money point. Agreed. Yeah, I fucking love using my Venmo balance to pay for other people. Like, essentially, you're just moving money back and forth from Venmo. And at that point, like, I don't feel like I'm making a financial commitment to anything. It's basically fake money because I never had it.
Exactly. That's it's just tricking my own brain into thinking this isn't real money, even though it very much is. And I absolutely am
financially irresponsible.
Yeah. On the exact same note, every month I pay for the entire rent out of my bank account, and then Julia Venmos me for her half of it, and then she the money that she Venmos me that's sitting in my Venmo account, I've already spent that money. But to me, that's free money. So of course I can spend it on like gambling or drinks at a bar or fucking sending my friends money at 8 a.m. because I'm bored that day. Like, it's free money. It's Monopoly money. I never had it.
I should have known Griffin would be all about this pick, more so than I am. Even.
How many times are you gonna cry tonight?
It's not. I'm not crying. You're crying. It's not that Thomas is number 1, but it's a pick that I really like, and I'm a little disappointed with myself that I didn't think about it.
Y'all a bunch of losers.
Nice.
We're a bunch of losers that pretend to be fiscally responsible, and we're just not.
Go watch Endgame.
I will.
Number 3.
I might.
Number 3. Now we're getting into one where this might not be underrated, but I put it on there anyways. First night on fresh bed sheets after washing bed sheets. And I feel like this one, like I said, might not be underrated, but it still doesn't take away how good it is. Now, I'm a person who unfortunately sweats a lot at night, and it sucks, and I hate it.
That was less.
And I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So, I mean, nothing better than fresh bed sheets. Even if I took that 10-second clip out and you didn't need to know that about me, still fresh bed sheets, fantastic.
We got cold teeth, erectile dysfunction, sleep sweating, snoring.
Got Andrew's night sweats and my ED. But Thomas, you're really coming out like above everybody in this spot, and
All I
like
do is
people that have
snore.
met you know that you shouldn't because you're garbage. But today, you're
So, come
the
down.
king among idiots.
So here's I thought about doing like the cool side of the pillow, but
Yeah, I
I,
did.
I will say I agree it's a good pleasure. I think it's appropriately rated. I think it's appreciated for what it is. Yeah, I mean it's a pleasure. I would not say it's underrated.
I feel like it's one of those things that you would see like a stupid Twitter meme account like post like fresh sheets and then a bunch of greater than signs, and it would have like 17 million retweets. Like I think the people are pretty on board about this being an appropriately rated pleasure. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I'm not going to take that away, but I don't think it's underrated.
It's like if you had, and you might still have it, like putting on a pair of boxers, like freshly out of the dryer, so they're like still toasty.
See, I'll say I don't like that. I don't like putting on
Not
out
hot,
of the
like
dryer.
toasty.
Yeah, yeah. I
What
don't,
what if what if you
It-
just get off a cold floor? So you like your butt's cold.
and
Yeah,
I would like
combine the
normal
two pigs.
boxers.
Yeah, the clothes out of the dryer can be good. I think it's got to be like a winter day for me
Oh
me to
yeah,
really
I
enjoy
mean,
that.
and I'm not talking like ding, dryer's done, shirt's on. I'm like, let it cool a little bit. I want to burn myself.
Don't want to burn yourself. Can't have that.
Anyway,
Not on a
appropriately
cold winter
rated.
day. Yeah, I say appropriately rated too. Again, great feeling, but I do think appropriately rated.
Fair, and I
Alright, so
figured that was going
scratch
to be
it
the
from the list.
criticism. I figured that was going to be the criticism to pick, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with having it on there.
Losing.
Number 2 on my list, and this also might be appropriately rated, but I'm going to say it's underrated. And it's going to be surprising that anything working out related is on my list because lazy. But just the post workout feeling, especially after like cardio, whether it's biking or swimming or running. Miserable during, after, fantastic. And I don't know why I decided to just talk in words instead of sentences there, but
Everyone
you know
talk.
what I mean.
Let me push back a little bit, and I just because I want to specify what this is so that I understand. You talking like the post workout like endorphin rush where you're like kind of feeling a little lifted, feeling a little light, or are you talking about the post workout like you're looking good, you got the pump going, you've got like 45 minutes to an hour where you look like the best version of yourself?
I'm actually not talking about the endorphin rush so much because that I feel like can happen and should happen during the workout, even like when you're into it. I mean, like I feel accomplished. Like yeah, like that feeling, and it can come in the form of Griffin looking at himself in the mirror. For me, it's not
does that. Everyone does that.
For me, it's not so much that; it's more just the not just the accomplishment of having done it, but also looking forward to not having to do it for the rest of the day again, or however until your next, the next time you're doing it.
Yeah, like, see, that's more what I was. That's more what I thought you were gonna go with was like I'm done. So I feel
yeah, I mean that's kind of what I mean by it.
That part I would say that part is underrated. I don't think most people have that thought process. I don't think people think, oh, I
only
worked
the
out.
very lazy do.
I worked out.
Yeah, that is.
Thank God I don't have to do this again for another 24 plus hours.
Days. That is always my thought process. Like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, for the three of us, wing night is not underrated, but for other people, it's underrated.
Those people
I'm thinking that this is along those lines.
I get where your head's at.
I get it. I don't see it as a number 2, but I get it. I don't.
Yeah.
You
I don't know.
clearly have not accomplished a lot in your life, so this gives you pleasure.
I don't think it's like I think it's probably underrated in that it's one of those things that people probably don't think about a lot. Like you just think about working out, you don't think about or you're like where you're trying to get like long term. Like everybody, and this is one of the big problems that people have when they work out is that everyone sets these long term goals. That is like by this time next year, I want to have 6-pack abs and I want to be 15 pounds lighter. but no one's thinking about like by the end of this workout, I want to just feel good and like appreciate that I did the workout. So that aspect of it, like I do agree that that's an underrated aspect of working out is just feeling accomplished. To that end, I mean, I agree with it. Yeah, because it's not something that I think about. But I'm sure at the ends of my workouts, I probably in the back of my head am just feeling better than I was beforehand.
Yeah, I do not disagree with it. I disagree with it being so high. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I feel like a lot of times, like you know you're gonna feel accomplished afterwards. Like this pick can be amplified when you're feeling shitty about your, like you just are feeling like you ate too much all weekend, or you just feel like super lazy.
You're feeling
like,
the way that
and you're just like, I know that I need to get up and like do a workout, like, but I just cannot.
When you feel like all you want to do is lay on a cold floor in a bathtub, but instead you work out.
Exactly.
I was going to say, you're feeling the way that we've all felt basically since we graduated college. And we're like, oh, working out, that's going on the back burner. Who needs that?
Yeah.
But now that we do it every so often, it's like, oh, man, I'm a fitness specimen. Like, I'm getting after it. I'm going to be fucking thin this summer. No, you're not. No, you're not. But you feel accomplished that day.
I've thought that every summer. It's never happened.
So. Hey, this coming summer is going to be our summer. Not 2021. We're deep into it. We're in the dog days. Some may say.
We're doing it like the Olympics, where it's going to actually be 2022, but we're going to call it summer 2021.
Okay. I get where your head's at. All right.
Cool.
Switch it up.
No.
Number one. Number one for me is waking up. What?
Sound more pumped.
Yeah, right.
You seem so upset with your number. You're like, yeah, number one. Like we got there, I guess. I'm Andrew, and
we're getting through. We're getting through the no. Number one for me is waking up at 3 a.m. when you think it's 8 a.m. and it's time to get up for work. But you woke up at 3 and you look at the clock and you got 5 more hours to go, or anything similar. You know, just waking up and thinking that it's time to get up, but realizing you have many more hours to sleep. Best feeling in the world. No one can convince me otherwise.
So while it is a great feeling to realize you have more time to sleep, I would rather just not wake up.
I think that every time this happens, but every time it happens, it's such a good feeling that I'm willing to take the 2 minutes lost of sleep. And
so, okay.
And like I understand if you're someone who has trouble falling back asleep after that happens, then this would be a terrible pick.
So let me go back, because mine, like I said, for an unexpected nap, it's the naps that work out for you. So yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, if I'm waking up and I still have another 2 hours of sleep and I'm falling right back asleep, I can get behind that. It's when it's like takes 15 minutes, so then you lose 15 minutes. But okay, I see what you're saying. I feel like you have a list of pleasures, some underrated, and they're just not top 5 stuff, but I get them.
This one, I get why this would be an underrated pleasure, and I get why this one would be one that people enjoy without really thinking about. Doesn't really do it for me, because I am one of those people that takes forever to fall asleep. So if I wake up randomly in the middle of the night, I'm up for a half hour to an hour. Like I just can't put myself back to sleep that quickly. The one time that's not the case, and this isn't really like middle of the night thing, so it is a little hypocritical of me to offer the opposite of this, is when you're a kid, and we talked about this on a previous pod, I think, and you wake up, and kids today don't have to do it. You had to wake up and watch the scroll on the bottom of the TV during winter when there was a snowstorm to see if you had a 2-hour delay or you had the day off or whatever. And going back to sleep after that was the best feeling in the world. Even if you only had the 2-hour delay, no matter what, you were like, oh, more sleep, let's fucking go. That is the time that I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine having woken up and having to go back to sleep. But like middle of the night, not the way my brain works, unfortunately, because I'm sure it feels fucking awesome.
I had a similar situation a couple weeks ago when there was a tropical storm. Like I woke up at like 3, checked the radar, texted my crew, was like, don't come to work.
Yeah.
I went into work and slept on the couch for 3 hours, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's an awesome feeling. And I think there, for me at least, there's something even better about waking up in the middle of the night when it wasn't like something that woke you up. It wasn't like your alarm or anything. In fact, you woke up, like your body just woke up thinking that you were late or thinking that you know, overslept your alarm or something, and you realize you still got 2 hours before it.
Mm.
That to me is just perfection. So
Again,
good.
I totally get it, but I'm with Griffin in the sense that I sometimes struggle to fall asleep. So if my body wakes up to go to work, it's starting to wake up, and then
Yeah.
like if so I again, like I said, if it's like unexpected nap, if it works out in the best way, I get it. I'm for it. I would say good pick. But you know, there is the risk of it.
Yeah, it's no Thomas number one. Let me tell you.
I mean, how was I supposed to follow up with that? Like you
Yeah,
couldn't
You
follow
can't
it up
beat
either.
wing night.
Wing night.
Honestly, like if people were still listening to the pod at this point, like if they made it this deep in, you could have turned it off after Thomas read his number one.
I told you guys.
Because I think I'm gonna vote for him this week, and I hate myself for it. But it's just
See, no,
such
but
a good
here's the
number
thing.
one.
I think everything that all the episodes we've done, I have the most votes from you guys. Like the most times you guys have
Being like
voted for me
2,
over
yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
We often
But I
say that
have
we
the
like your
least
list, and
wins.
then the people don't. The people don't. Like we don't know what the people like. I
But
also
people don't
think
like
at
me.
some point, and it's kind of insane that we haven't implemented this. We're like 14 or 15 episodes in. We should probably stop being allowed to vote for ourselves. We should probably have to vote for someone other than ourselves.
No.
I don't like that.
I
No,
think
that's
we.
not.
I
That's
think
not
we.
a.
I
That's,
know that we all count on our early, like who's going to get out to an early lead vote, but
who's gonna vote first?
Yeah, I think we should have to vote. We're like,
Yeah, I like
in
I
our
like
mind,
jump.
we're voting for second place, but you know,
I like voting and then taking a screenshot where it's 100% me.
I know you do because you've done it multiple times.
I did accidentally vote for Thomas a couple weeks ago, which was frustrating. Especially because I think I was the first person to vote too. So it was 100 for Thomas.
And whoever has
100%
the opening vote, I'm pretty sure is going to win. Like that's I'm just confident this time because the
All
people, they're followers. They're followers. Give us your recap.
My recap. Number 5, learning every lyric to a new song, especially a fast song. Number 4, paying for something with your existing Venmo balance instead of having to take it out of your bank account. Number 3, first night on fresh bed sheets. Number 2, that post-workout feeling of accomplishment that you got not just that you got the workout done, but that you're done with the workout for an extended period of time. And number 1, waking up in the middle of the night or at least a couple hours before your alarm, thinking it's time to get up, but then realizing that you still have more time to sleep.
Yeah.
Long.
It's a long, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of gray area there on how many of these are actually underrated. They're definitely all pleasures. Like I get that. Some gray area on how underrated they are. I think my list had a little bit of that too. I think Thomas probably was the most consistent with what's actually underrated. Yeah,
we can do another list in the future of just pleasurable things.
Well, I mean, we got to do rated pleasures, and then we've got to do overrated pleasures. So we're just going to become a pleasure podcast, which now that I say it in words feels like it's something different, and I want to take it back.
Yeah, let's be a pleasure podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly we suggested this one a few days ago. I didn't know if we were. I kind of thought it was going to be like super boring cliche choices. I like the choices we came up with. I had a good time with this one.
Yeah, to be honest, this topic came up a while ago, first time, and I was like, "That's stupid."
Yeah,
but I was wrong.
Yeah, look at us making a chicken salad out of chicken shit.
But the perfect ratio so it doesn't fall out as you eat it.
Yeah,
a chicken shit sandwich.
Chicken shit salad sandwich. Just hate that. Okay,
we are. List night is the chicken shit sandwich of podcasts.
We are. That. Hey, I'll take it. That means people are at least talking about us. Said it at the top of the show, but again, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you're sharing it with your friends or your family or your coworkers or whatever. I said workers, coworkers. I don't know how many of you have workers, Kristen. But share it with whoever. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any of the other audio platforms, make sure you're rating and reviewing us. And if you're not currently following us on Twitter or Instagram or on our Facebook page, you can like us or follow us on any of those pages. List Night everywhere. If you can't find it, just search for List Night Podcast. Every week we post. After the episode goes live, we post our lists, and people have the opportunity to vote on them. So if you enjoy the episode and you want to help determine each week's winner, make sure you go do that. As always, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thomas, Andrew, you did a lot of bullying this week. Probably going to cry when we end this pod, but I had a good time. And
bullying, underrated pleasure.
Bullying, underrated pleasure.
Yes.
Bullying, appropriately rated pleasure. It's equal to wing.
Very highly rated.
Oh, it's so highly rated. 5 stars out of 5. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.